Hey guys, what's going on? Inception here, and welcome to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be a video where I give my opinion on the FIFA 23 gameplay after playing, I would say honestly, like 30 or so games, because I obviously play between different accounts. I play on mine, I play on Giyu's to kind of do certain things here and there for the content, right? Because the player reviews are going to be coming out a lot. We're looking into getting most of them as much as possible. There's a few players here that we have to get reviews out for too. Renato Sanchez, Ben Yedder, Diogo Jota, all those kind of guys, right? So even like the Raheem Sterling card and whatnot. And we're going to see what we can do, right? Because obviously for player reviews, it's all about getting the coins to be able to do this type of content, right? So yeah, guys, we're going to be giving the opinion on FIFA 23 gameplay in regards to how it feels so far. This is going to be an opinion from a guy whose main account is currently in Division 7, right? I have lost one game in this game, and I lost it because EA needs to fix foot draft, okay? Because I chose a 4-3-2-1 formation, and it completely messed with me, okay? The reason why it messed with me is because when I chose the 4-3-2-1, they didn't give me any center mids because you cannot do position changes in the draft, which is a huge bothersome thing. I don't know why they didn't. They clearly did think of it, but I don't know. I don't know what went through their minds for them to not create a system where you can change the position of the player that you're selecting for that specific formation. Because you guys tell me who's a center forward that I'm going to get in a draft to play in the left center forward and right center forward position. I got 0 selections, right? So the team was awful. We ended up losing like 3-1 in the second round. So that is the main loss that we did end up getting, which is that one right there. But the rest were 16 wins. So I did play a few games on this account with the mediocre players and then a little bit better players. And then obviously played on Giyu's account with the top class players, right? So what I want to talk about with the gameplay, okay, is that right now, I'm going to be honest with you guys, it's not as terrible as people are making it out to be. What I will say, right, what I will say is this, and I think this is a very important thing to say. I do feel like inconsistent gameplay is yet again a thing this year, right? There's games where I play where the dribbling mechanics that you guys speak about, you feel it regardless of good or bad, but in the good, it doesn't feel that bad. Like, I still feel like it exists. Even from the 30 games that I played, I've been playing games where it feels a little bit more sloppier than others. Like, there's been games like that, right? So that's just a FIFA thing, honestly. I don't think that's ever going to escape us for the most part, right? So if your players feel too slow and sluggish, you're most likely experiencing bad gameplay, just like it is for every single year for the last like 10 or so years, let's be honest, right? Maybe next year it could change with them no longer being associated to FIFA and they rewrite the code. Will they probably do it? Probably not, right? Okay, let's talk about this specific game mechanics. The first thing that I have to mention to people is the dribbling mechanics, okay? Guys, you have to be very careful, right? Very careful for what you ask for, okay? Because if you mess with the dribbling mechanics, let's say that EA does a patch in the future. If you mess with the dribbling mechanics, guys, you have to understand that you are also affecting the other areas of the pitch, right? If you make left stick dribbling more responsive, you would have to make defensive manually more responsive. Your right stick switching would have to be significantly better because the switching in FIFA is still pretty mediocre at best, right? There's so many moments where I'm pressing the right stick, I'm pressing the L1, and it never switches to the one person I want after 3 or 4 switches, right? If you guys watched that video that I did with Kurt, it was a podcast, I showed you guys what proper switching looks like when the game plays up to par and everything. It was an offline experience clip in the podcast that I did with him. You'll be able to see proper switching in a game like that. Why it doesn't exist in the online experience of the game, I don't know. It's still going to be an inconsistent thing, okay? So let's talk about the dribbling, guys. Like I said, you have to be very careful for what you are asking for when it comes to the dribbling mechanics because you affect other areas of the pitch. The dribbling on the ball, guys, okay? A lot of these players that we're using are not necessarily the best players to use. For instance, the midfielders, right, like Palinha, Renato Sanchez, right? Renato Sanchez has some pretty good dribbling, but obviously he's going to feel a little bit rough around the edges from time to time, right? Players like Ben Yedder will dribble a little bit better. Messi, Neymar, those guys will dribble a little bit better, right? But obviously EA wants to push you towards a direction of you know, getting the better players so that they feel as good as possible. Now, is this like a really, really good thing to do in the beginning of the year? Yes and no, because it'll throw some people off because that's what their general experience is going to be like, right? Because for me, I got really lucky with some of the players that I have in this team, because Diogo Jota, for instance, absolute beast, going to do his review soon. He's incredible. But he's a card that I got as untradeable, right? I have a Rafinha chilling on the bench as well. I'm going to have to figure out some things to kind of fit Ben Yedder and all these guys in the team too. But yeah, it's very important that you get decent players as much as possible. I will say, okay, that this is the most important thing. In the defensive positions, okay, that's where you want to spend most of your money. In the midfield and the defense especially, because I'm going to tell you guys this right now. After using players like Varane and Koulibaly, it is miles different, okay? I have Mario Rui in the team, who's okay at best, but if you guys ever use that Malacia card, he's a monster there. Right back position, Kyle Walker. These guys, I'm telling you, they make a huge difference for the experience of your game, because sometimes you'll be like, oh, my defending is a little bit weird. It's weird because sometimes these guys like don't do defensive animations because their defensive stats is a little bit lower. What I will say is that there's a few good things in this game, right? And I'm going to be honest, it's been a long time since there's been like a few good things in FIFA gameplay. The first I'm going to mention is that attacking AI is better this year. I like the attacking AI. I don't think it's amazing. I still think that there's definitely, you know, a lackluster feel to it sometimes. Like, I'll give you guys an example, right? Like, PES has insane attacking AI. The way that every single player on the pitch, the way that they adapt to every single dribble and pass that you do, it's insane. It's so quick as well. Like, they do angled runs. Like, the way that they're adapting to everything you're doing is incredible, okay? That's the one thing I got to give Konami credit for, is that their attacking AI is really cool to work with. But credit to EA too, because the attacking AI this year is pretty solid, but you just need to make sure that you have the right players, okay? Because guys, listen, this is another year where you need to have the right attacking and defensive AI, or you are not going to enjoy the experience of this game. Some people are basing their experience in this game off of really bad at formations and tactics. To be honest with you guys, I feel like I'm more of a rivals person this year than I am a draft person, because if I play drafts and I get certain formations I'm not going to be good with, I will not be able to perform as well, because this new 4-2-3-1 that I showed you guys is honestly so good in game for great movement across the pitch. And that's the thing, it's just one formation, one tactic. There's going to be many things. When you play this game, you genuinely have to be willing to lose games to learn the mechanics of FIFA. That's just what you have to do, okay? So the dribbling part of the game, I do feel like can be sluggish at times. I feel like in the future they may adjust it, but the problem is, guys, is that they would have to adjust the defense too. Manual defending, when it comes to switching, right, would have to be better, because to be fair, the manual tackles, they have improved by like a 20-30% this year, to be honest. Like, a lot of tackles that I do end up doing, even with the lower rated players, they come off nicely, but there's still certain tackles, and I don't know why EA continues to do this, okay? EA, in a video game, right? Not real life, in a video game, it is really nice to, at minimum, get 90% possession-based tackles. A person losing the ball is not going to complain about losing the ball if it's a good tackle, okay? This is what boggles my mind, because I have so many times where, like, the kickoff is still disgusting this year. I don't know how kickoff is still this good after all these years. It's been like 10 plus years and the kickoff is still disgusting, right? But you have to really be mindful, okay, of the defensive stuff in this game, okay? You have to be mindful, because it does feel a little bit better, but it still has those push animations where it just gives the person back the ball, right? And I hate those animations. Possession-based tackles is the way to go. Putting the body ahead of the player if you time the tackle correctly to get the ball, pass it off. No one's going to complain about that. The only people that are going to complain about that are people that want AI to assist them like crazy, okay? So the dribbling, guys, I understand what you're saying, that it feels weird, but I think it's a combination of two things. I think it is you having bad and good gameplay, right? The difference between the two. And the other thing, okay, the other thing is obviously the players that you have, okay? The players that you have is going to be a really, really massive thing, because when I did use Messi and stuff, they did feel a little bit better even in the bad gameplay. Neymar, a very good example of that as well. And this is the beginning of the year. As the game progresses, as the promos come out, they want to steer you in that direction. That's just how FIFA works, okay? The shooting. I'm going to be honest with you guys, I think the shooting is really great. I will say, though, that I do think that they're going to nerf the L trigger shots. They shouldn't necessarily nerf L trigger shots inside the 18-yard box because I like being able to score these opportunities, but the outside one, it looks like very unnatural. It's a very like easy way to score if you have like decent enough players. They're like crazy goals, right? But the finishing inside the 18-yard box, yet again, another year where I'm going to give them, not another year, excuse me, because I never did this before, but the shooting this year is actually pretty nice because EA kind of understands like, hey, a person has manual goalkeeping, defensive AI is very, very effective. We should make the shooting good when they get the angle. Like I have moments where I have like no momentum, but I did take a really good touch and I just have to strike it. And the players do a fantastic job. Striking it far post, striking it near post, they do great. For players that are not improved, okay? So the shooting I definitely like a lot, but that L trigger shot is definitely going to be adjusted. I do feel like that's going to be the case, especially for those long shots, but the close range ones, I really like being able to utilize that inside the 18-yard box for the shots, even though my brain does not register to use them because they're still very good shots to use. But guys, a regular strike still comes off great, you know? People have been complaining about the goalkeepers. Guys, I'm going to be honest with you, man. I like NPC goalkeepers. That's why we call them NPC goalkeepers. You know why? I'm going to tell you. Guys, you have to have balance in every single part of the pitch, okay? If your defensive AI is strong, especially when you have the good players, right? Your defensive AI is strong, and you have rough dribbling. You have to take other mechanics into consideration for the one. And you have rough dribbling. If you worked out one space and you shoot, you should be able to score, right? My only gripe with this game, the only two types of goals that have irritated me is the switching, because the switching is still horrible, right? There's so many times I cannot switch the player properly, right? And like I said, go watch the Kurtz podcast where I showed him a clip of the switching. That's perfect switching. Perfect, okay? And the other one is the kickoff. The kickoff is crazy. It's crazy, man. The kickoff is still insane. Like people could score so easily on it. I have clips of me showing tactics where I'm literally showing you guys, like, guys, this is a kickoff that I'm scoring right here, right? So, again, got to be mindful of that. The crosses, I'm going to be honest with you guys, I don't mind crosses being effective. I'm going to tell you why. There is one cross that is very overpowered that I do not like. I hate these very unnatural garbage goals, okay? I hate them. It's the one where you guys see, these guys on TikTok, you know? It's the center back committing the run forward, and then you're all the way to the side, and then you just do this very unnatural cross. They do the unnatural cross regularly, and they do the unnatural cross from a outside foot cross. The outside foot cross looks super unnatural, okay? And that's how overpowered it is. That specific cross is disgusting. I hate those ones, but I don't mind the regular ones as much, right? I'm gonna tell you guys why I don't mind the regular ones, because there is balance in certain parts of the pitch. Why do I not mind the crosses that much? Because you can use manual goalkeeping. What you can do, guys, is if you double tap triangle, right? This has been a thing for years, but people just don't know about this mechanic. If you double tap triangle or you double tap Y, your goalkeeper will go out to block a cross. That's what he's going to do. So if you think the opponent's going to go for a cross and it's very obvious, just press that button and he'll go for the cross. If you feel like he's going to go far post or near post, use your right stick and push them in that direction. Goalkeepers being NPCs, while taking into consideration that your shooting inside the 18-yard box is pretty accurate for the most part, but you have manual goalkeeping, in my opinion, I think is a great balance. This is the type of stuff that I complained about in previous years that I feel like they have adjusted, right? You have to take other game mechanics into consideration. I really believe that the biggest complaints from people, and it's understandable, because when you have mechanics like this, it actually slows down your reaction time, your game sense when you are playing the game. And I completely agree with people on this. It's the dribbling and the feel of the game being sluggish. I know what people mean when they talk about this, but it's like I said, if they don't do this sluggish dribbling feel, some players that you like may not be as good anymore. For instance, Erling Haaland this year is a monster. Apparently, he's an absolute beast. A player like Diogo Jota, who I would never use last year, even the rare gold card, right, is a beast this year, okay? Because you can give these cards a hunter and it doesn't feel like you have to give them the dribbling all the time, right? In the future, obviously, when they do promo cards and they boost the pace a lot, giving a dribbling and shooting boost is obviously going to be beneficial, right? But as of right now, they have these dribbling mechanics for you to be able to use any type of player, okay? Because those dribbling mechanics being rough also allows you to use center backs that are not full meta. Obviously, you want to go full meta as much as possible, right? But I've been using Konate in this game, who has horrible acceleration. And yeah, sure, you notice it from time to time, but the slowness feel in the game allows him to be a good center back because it's about defensive capabilities, body type, and defensive AI, right? You just can't play like super aggressive, high depth types of tactics for you to be able to utilize that. Like I said, in my team, I need to 100% improve my defense, because in this game, it is going to be the biggest thing. When I was checking out Varane, Kyle Walker, wow, Varane, Koulibaly, these guys are disgusting. They are levels above. If you're going to upgrade, I would keep every single attacker I have up there, even Gelson Martins, who's not that good this year, right? Even Gelson Martins, just to have my defense be crazy. I would spend 500k on my defense. The defense is going to be super 100,000,000% important this year. You need to improve it. Trust me, I've already gotten to a point in the game where I'm noticing that they're not great, okay? Because there's cards that you use in FIFA that in the first two games, you notice that like special feeling that they have, right? Malacia, I'm telling you, if I do a video in the future, he's going to be like a hidden gem type of player that I'm going to tell you guys about, okay? What else is there? So defensive stuff. Yeah, the heading is not bad for the clearance. The passing is a little weird. It's a little weird because here's the thing. I will say that they do want you to do more realistic passing, but there are some passes that's a little bit too crazy. The ones that I've seen people complain about, I don't agree with you. You want that driven pass to the middle to be always consistent without taking into consideration your body type and the way that your player is dribbling. I don't agree with this because you're trying to use FIFA mechanics, right? Not, you know, you got to draw the line of football and game and a video game. Like you got to draw that line, okay? That line is very important because every time I want to rant or talk about the gameplay on Twitter, I always get the realism ricks up in my Twitter mentions. Oh, but this is a realistic mechanic. Stop doing this, okay? Because you ruin the game like that. Because let me tell you something, okay? Realistic football, there are a lot of, in a video game sense, garbage goals scored in real life that in FIFA is not really that skilled, okay? Like crossing a ball or a corner kick. These are not skilled. You just happen to be in the right position, your power happened to be okay, and you score the opportunity, okay? These are not skilled mechanics. They happen in real life football. You can do them in FIFA, but it's not a skilled goal. Breaking down a defense in certain ways is a skilled goal, okay? Because crossing doesn't have that many mechanics you can use. You can use manual goalkeeping from the corners and they'll still get the cross, or they'll still get the header. So these things you have to be mindful of, is that fine line between video game and real life. Because real life, there's a lot of garbage goals scored, okay? A lot of the goals you score in FIFA, the nice goals, they're not often scored in real life. Not all the time, at least, okay? So people need to take that into consideration, too. I'm trying to think of some other things. So yeah, the passes, I agree with certain people, not all, man. Some of the examples you guys show me, like, they're not good examples, man. You have to take into consideration where your body is facing, all this kind of stuff, right? But this is a message to EA, because I know they watch these gameplay analysis videos, okay? Be careful with what you do with the left stick, the dribbling, because your dribbling affects every other mechanic in the game, okay? So just be very careful with what you guys do with that. I've been using the 4-2-3-1 recently. It's been great for me. I've been enjoying the game a little bit more, trying to use some of the new mechanics in the game a little bit more as well. You guys know me, like they introduced new skill moves. I don't always use them like that. That I will say, EA, that skill move you added is idiotic, okay? Idiotic. Matias Fernandez didn't do that on purpose, okay? A back heel to a ball roll. I've never seen someone do that, okay? It's an idiotic skill move, but it's very effective in FIFA. So people use it. It's a good way to kind of bring, because what happens is that when you do the skill move and you bring the ball back and you push it forward, they stop for a second. The defender, like when they're using that defender, they stop for a second, they go backwards. And then like you kind of have that space to work within the, like going forward. Really like the new skill moves. The new fake shot I like a lot. The L1 fake shot I think is really cool. Was there another one? No, I think that's like pretty much it. Yeah. But yeah, dribbling, passing, shooting, defending, crosses, goalkeepers. Don't mind the NPC goalkeepers because you have manual goalkeeping. I think that's pretty much it. That's all I can really mention right now. Yeah. What I will say is that I don't agree with this route when it comes to FIFA. Okay. I don't agree with it whatsoever. I don't agree with the route of fixing your mechanics in the game a certain way. Like, obviously you do this sluggish feel so that your players like Holland feel a little bit better. Not a little bit better, but they feel amazing, right? But you have to understand that I do not like this direction of going park the bus every single game, because far too often you face people that will score the one goal and then they will park the bus. This type of playstyle should not be promoted all the time, right? Sure, you can try to outscore your opposition, but sometimes it doesn't always work out, right? So the fact that someone will park the bus the entire game, again, Realism Ricks will come at me and be like, people do that in real life. I don't care, okay? In a video game, it's crazy. But is there a way for them to specifically adjust that if they were? Not really, because people want counterattacks, because counterattacks is a realistic thing too. Because I'm a very considerate person. I'm not completely biased and selfish when it comes to the mechanics of the game. I have an understanding for everything. I do feel like it's very important to draw that line between game and real life. It's very, very important, because if you don't do that, the games will be horrible. But in my opinion, if inconsistent gameplay wasn't a thing, because it is a horrible game again because of inconsistent gameplay. I tell you guys this every year. If we don't take inconsistent gameplay into consideration and it is good gameplay all the time, it's honestly not that bad of a game. I think it's been pretty decent, right? I do think that EA are still absolutely ridiculously dumb, right, for making game modes that do not have a balance again, okay? Let me explain myself. Division Rivals, I don't mind, right? Because you're going to be sweaty in that. You need your meta players. You need to be able to do whatever. I think for the whole week, you get your 6 wins. Cool. Don't mind that. I don't mind that more if you have a tournament mode, which I think at some point they're going to add in the World Cup mode, but that should be a default mode in the game, okay? Because I like this grind of Division Rivals to get to the Elite Division, to be able to get my wins during the week and then not play Division Rivals anymore. You still don't understand that. Okay? After like 4 or 5 years of me complaining about this, you still don't get it. This is a good game mode with another one next to it. Okay? Not this. I hate this game mode. I hate it. Okay? I hate this game mode. I hate quantity amount game modes. I hate it. Okay? This should be your competitive. This should be your tournament mode. This is where the format of the World Cup should be, you know? Where it's like, you play your 3 rounds through the group stages, and then you go through each round, and then you get your coin rewards for winning it, qualifying through the thing. I love that game mode. I love it. Your game right now would be significantly better if that was the case, okay? Just food for thought, because I hate that they do this all the time, right? Foot Champs, I know they're going to keep in the game. I hate this game mode with the deepest passion. I've always hated it. Never been opposite of that. It's a horror. I got top 100 and quit playing it consistently. That's how much I hate the game mode. Okay. Even the end video, I did well in Foot Champs. I just don't like quantity amount. I hate quantity amount. I don't mind quantity amount if you give a person a lot of chances. For instance, you guys did the preseason cup last year. It was a great game mode because it was first goal scored. If you didn't win any of your 7 games, or you win at least one of them, good enough. You know what I'm saying? Because we need a game mode, EA, that has your competitive, right? So that a person in Division 10 tries to get better at the game, so they climb Division Rivals. And then if they want to use different players, have fun with different players, blah, 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 they go play the tournament mode, or earn rewards, earn like 1 bronze player every single game, untradeable, so you can use towards a silver upgrade, gold upgrade, have that video game concept, right? And then take it from there. So I think for the game modes, I think the game modes are horrendous because, dude, if I get to the Elite Division and I get my wins, I don't want to play the Elite Division anymore because I'm only going to face people that are going to use full meta cards, sweat it out like crazy, which, to be fair, is the point of the game mode, but you need the other game mode. It's like, I'll give you guys a very good example, okay? It's like Call of Duty pros or Call of Duty content creators, right? Tweeting out saying, we need a ranked playlist and we need a casual playlist. Now, don't get me wrong, right? Right now I'm in the classic games. I can probably find a classic match nowadays because of the fact that it's, I think it would be like open matchmaking nowadays. I could be wrong. Well, it would be, you know what? The classic matches might not be as bad this year for matchmaking because of the fact that it's cross-gen, right? It's Xbox and PlayStation, with that, which I think was a very important thing to add. So yeah, the matchmaking is not that bad. So let's see what the connection is. Yeah, that's like the general connection I get. So you know what? Not bad. Not bad, EA. I like that, okay? Because last year, it was impossible. I think they have open matchmaking. They might. They might have open matchmaking for that. If they do, GG's EA. Because I want to try out the new SBC cards without having to try hard if I'm in the Elite Division. So I need to ask one of the guys there, like, hey, one of you guys, if you guys end up watching, can you please let me know if you have this on open matchmaking? Please tell me it's on open matchmaking, okay? Please. I'm going to search again because I'm telling you guys, last year, I could not for the life of me find a classic game. What I'm curious about is that when Foot Champs happens on the weekend, if I could still find classic matches, because if this is the case, then hey, no, a tournament mode, whatever. You know what I'm saying? If that's the case. But I just need a mode separate from the Elite Division where I can play normal games without having to play foot drafts, try out some different players, and not have to worry about that kind of stuff, okay? It's very important for me to experience the game normally like that, okay? Because like I said, in the Elite Division, I don't care about my SR. I don't care about my skill rating. I just want to get my wins and call it a day. What's the connection on this? 30? 28. Good. Good. Oh, hey, another good thing. Guys, listen, when was the last time you heard me say a lot of or a few good things about a video game? It's been a while, okay? But I understand what you guys are saying when it comes to the responsiveness and the sluggish feel of the game. But like I've said a billion times in this video, you have to be very, very careful about what you do with those specific mechanics in the game because they affect other areas of the pitch, okay? So EA, if you guys do something with your left stick or your feel of the game, honestly, if you guys can, let me tell you something, okay? If you can somehow, by the good graces of the EA, I don't even know if I could say it because of the YouTube thing, right? But by the good graces, right? If you guys could somehow fix that sluggish feel and make your defenders feel a little bit like better manual-wise, you have one of the best FIFAs, to be honest. Right? You really do. The fact that I can find classic matches is a really big deal because I could not for the life of me find classic matches last year. So good stuff. Okay. That's my opinion. Do you know why some of you guys actually like this game? You know what? You want me to tell you why? You will not admit to this, but I'll tell you why. It's because this game plays like PES, okay? It plays like PES. If you guys have ever tried PES back in the day, you have to almost think 2 steps ahead as you're playing the game because that sluggish dribble, you have to already understand that that's a mechanic in the game. So you can't just like responsively move with your left stick, like bottom left, bottom right, top right. Like you guys get what I'm saying? Like you can't just like do that every single time now. Like you won't be like, you can have Messi and you won't be able to do that, okay? Unless you time your R1, L1 dribble like really well. So it's just food for thought, okay? Honestly, I like this game better than last year's game. I do. I'm going to be honest. I do like this game better than last year's game. Last year's game was... The meta was so linear and boring, okay? It was boring. I like that you guys improved attacking AI a little bit. So some players' movements have been fantastic. I like it. I like what you guys did with it. And it's nice to use different types of cards, I will admit. So, EA guys, be careful, okay? That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. But... some things impressed me. You understand this mechanic is this, so these two need to be like this. It's the first time it's happened in years, okay? But like I said, I understand the sluggish people, guys, okay? I understand it, okay? Thanks for watching the video. I'll catch you guys for the next one. Buy defenders. It'll change your game, I'm telling you. Peace out, dudes. Love you guys.